Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Ashley and this is Martin Midlife Misadventures, and today we're going to flour it up. That's right. And for all you creators who don't know, I made a challenge. It's flour it up. You can do it any day of the week. We are going to show people how to use flour products, any flour products, and anything you can make from flour. You could be pretty creative with this. Just tag us, let us know you made a video, and I will add it to the playlist, all right? Now, this is kind of a big video because we're doing a lot. We're going to make a light wheat bread. It's my own recipe and you're going to love it. We're also going to make some Italian croutons from some day-old bread, which happens to be the same bread we're baking today, and we're going to make some breadcrumbs, okay? I'm going to use some appliances within this. I'm going to use my bread maker because I don't have the hand strength to do it, and I'm just keeping it honest today. Been working hard, getting all this moved. In fact, by the time you see this video, all this pantry should be converted back into a bedroom. I'm so excited. Don't worry, I will show you that. I'm also going to be, and you can mix this by hand. I've done it a million times. You can mix this dough by hand, let it proof for an hour, punch it down, shape it the way you want it, rolls or loaves of bread. You can make 2 small loaves of bread or 1 large loaf of bread with this, and just bake it off at 375 in your oven. It's that easy. And I do recommend, if you bake it in your oven, when it comes out, brush it with some butter. Brush the top with butter, and it just keeps that top from not being quite so hard. It's delicious, all right? I'm also using my air fryer. Those of you who've been watching a long time got an air fryer about 6 months ago. I don't know how I lived without it, but you can bake these croutons in your oven. It does not have to be an air fryer. I'll explain that when I do it. And we're going to make some breadcrumbs. I'm going to use a little food processor for that. You know what, guys? Until I had a little food processor, I always just put them in a baggie and mashed them down with a rolling pin or my hand. So you don't have to have all the equipment I'm using today, okay? You can use an oven. You can use, your hands, whatever. But I'm showing you how to do this because I know a lot of you do have bread machines, and I know a lot of you do have air fryers, and I don't want you wasting anything, even the bread. Breadcrumbs are expensive, and you're not getting a lot in volume for what you're paying for. It's kind of ridiculous. And the same with croutons, and they're not that great, and they have tons of preservatives in them that aren't really good for you. So I want to show you a better alternative, okay? What else? We talked about the sugar. We talked about what we're doing. How about let's get that bread started, and then we'll make some croutons. All right, we're going to get started on this recipe, and you're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of wheat flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, which I have right here, 1½ tablespoons of sugar, 1¼ cups of water, and 1 package or 2 tablespoons of fast-rising instant yeast. I've already put 2 cups of regular all-purpose flour into my bread making container here. Now I'm adding 1 cup of the wheat flour. I'm going to go ahead and dump in all the salt, as well as 1½ tablespoons of sugar. Now, my bread machine calls that I put the water in last. Most bread machines have you put it in first, so you need to follow your instructions for your machine if you're doing it this way. Now I'm going to add my 1¼ cup of water to the top of that, and we're going to go to my bread maker. Okay, I've got it in the bread maker. We're going to close the lid. See, mine has a yeast dispenser, and when the machine comes up to temperature, it drops it. It's a really nice feature on my machine. So all I have to do is hit the start button, and it starts a 4-hour countdown. I'll show you when we're done. We are almost an hour in. It's already dropped the yeast, and it's starting to mix it. See how that is? Bread makers are so convenient, guys. And like I said, I've done this by hand. I've done it every way you can. But today, the bread maker's taking care of business. See you in 3 hours. If we're going to make croutons, first thing we need is some day-old bread. This is the exact same bread that we've baked today, all right? I just kept it on purpose so I could make these croutons because we're having a big Italian dinner tonight. So I cut them about 1 inch in size. See this? I cut off all the crust off of the outside of the leftover bread because that is what we're going to make our breadcrumbs out of. We are wasting nothing, guys, all right? And it just feels really good when you do this. So 1 inch cubes or so, whatever size you like, and let's get the other ingredients. All right, friends, the seasonings for our croutons, I will show you them all. We've got onion powder, paprika, oregano, garlic powder, basil, salt, and pepper, okay? And the amounts are 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of salt, that's pink Himalayan, use any kind you want, and a couple little cranks off of your pepper grinder, okay? You need a bowl, and you're going to need some oil. I'm going to use this light olive oil, but you certainly could use regular vegetable oil or regular olive oil, sunflower oil, whatever kind of oil you prefer. And you know what? I don't measure this, but I'm going to guess that I'm going to be using about 1/4 cup, okay? And you can always make up a little more if this isn't going to be enough. Maybe that's more getting close to a 1/2 cup. I don't know. Take your seasonings and just dump them in, okay? Get yourself a little whiskey doodad. Stir it up really, really, really good, okay? I have a little on this. I was just going to shake that over the little croutons, okay? And I'm going to drizzle this slowly over it, like this, and just a little at a time, and then I'm going to start shaking them around, okay? A little at a time, and then just start shaking them around until they're all coated. All right, I had already dumped all of it in my bowl, and I still had seasonings coating my bowl. So I added a couple more tablespoons of oil to the bowl, and we're going to try to get all these seasonings out and dump them on our croutons. All right, I've loaded them all. All of them are in my little air fryer. We have an 8-inch one, okay? So you can really put a lot in here. We're going to start it. Pardon my hands. Let's see. We were going to do the temperature. We're going to bring it down to about 320 degrees. That's what I like to do them at in my air fryer. And then we're going to set a timer. I'm going to bring it down to about 6 minutes. And I'm going to set for a shake. So we're going to shake this halfway through. And we're going to hit start. So I kind of do this in 3-minute increments. Shake it every 3 minutes. And believe me, you'll know when they're done. I'll show you at the first shake. Okay, let's take a look. They really aren't doing much, but it's hot. But you got to shake them, okay? Shake them back up and then put them back in. 6 minutes, and now I'm going to do it for another 6 minutes, and I'm going to set it to shake. Halfway through, hit the shake button, and start. They're done, guys. I did a grand total was 14 minutes on these things. The most important thing is just make sure you set your machine for shake and you check them. If you're going to do these in your oven, I'd set it about 320 degrees. And then like every 5 minutes or so, go in and swish them around, right? Rotate them. That way all sides can get a little browned. We all know what they're supposed to look like. And it's a personal preference on how dark you want them. But if you start with drier bread, it's going to make it a lot easier. I have all of these breadcrumbs loaded, and we're going to pulse them in here, okay? All right, let's look at these breadcrumbs. They're done, guys. They're absolutely perfect. I'm telling you, do not purchase breadcrumbs from the store. It is a complete ripoff. Those little ends I cut off of that bread made as many breadcrumbs as I could buy in one container in the store, and this is bread that people usually throw away. Make your own breadcrumbs. No waste, guys. That's where we need to be. All right, let's check it out because it's rising now. Look at how much that has risen. Now let me tell you, this is when you take it out if you want to bake it in your own oven. Get it out of here before it starts to cook. Shape it the way you want it. Let it rest for about 15-20 minutes, and then bake it off in your oven. You could bake it off at 350. You can bake it off at 400. I stay away from the super high temperatures in my oven because it already runs hot. So about 350, 375. Keep an eye on it. It shouldn't take long at all if you make it into rolls, about 12 to 15 minutes. See you when it's done. Our bread machine just went off. Would you look? Oh, see that steam? Oh my goodness, this is going to be delicious. Let me get it out. We're going to let it cool for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out, and when I'm ready to cut it, I'm going to show you. Would you look at the rise on this bread? I mean, it is beautiful. And I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you mix it by hand and bake it in the oven that way. It's going to be just as beautiful as this. Let me take a little piece off of it and we'll have Amy test it. Before I butter this little piece of bread up, I cut it thin because it's super hot. Amy's going to try it. I want you to see the texture of the bread. It's amazing, and it will come out this way no matter how you bake it. Are you going in? I put some butter on it for her.
Oh, I love that crust.
Yes. But the inside, tell them about the inside.
It's so soft. Hold on. Is that the light wheat?
Yes.
That's so good.
All right, everybody. I hope that you will give this bread a try because it is absolutely delicious. And the croutons, I'm telling you, you haven't had a real crouton until you've made one for yourself. And the breadcrumbs, just save yourself some money because it's kind of a ridiculous thing to buy. All right, everybody, leave us some recipes, leave us some thoughts, get in those kitchens and start baking. We love you all. Please give us a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and we're going to be talking to you really soon. God bless you all.